I've seen him do presentations before, but not after what you guys have all done. And I have really mixed emotions tonight. Today is 2 years ago today I picked Zach up from prison. And 3 years from now, 6 years ago, I had 2 police officers turn up on my doorstep at 1:30 in the morning. I was actually awake. My dog was barking because that week, it was the anniversary of my partner and I moving to my house. My partner's birthday is on the 10th and our anniversary is on the 11th. So we were up, we were dancing, we were having a great time. And the police came and they said, "Jane Jones?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "Your son has been in a very serious crash. In fact, everyone that was there cannot believe anyone survived. And when you see that, you can't believe an ant survived it." He had 4 passengers on board. They intimated he was speeding, and that everyone was taken to hospital. I'd had a drink, so we called a cab and headed off to St Vincent's Hospital. And when I walked around the corner in emergency, I could see 7 police officers standing outside a cubicle, and I just thought, oh my God, one of the passengers has died and Zach's under police guard. Zach's under police guard. Hello? Hello? Yeah, okay, sorry. And I walked up to them and I said, "Zach Jones?" And they just indicated the next one along. And I was so relieved, but I walked past the police officers and saw my son lying there, stark naked, just his whole left side of his face, like arms, he was shredded. And I asked a male nurse, "Can you please get a blanket to cover my son?" And he tended to him well enough, but I could tell that it was like, he's a bloody idiot. And as Zach said, they're sick of it. They're absolutely sick of it. And I said, "Zach, I'm here, it's Mum." And he just kept saying, "I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Mum." Before he said, "I'm going to be sick." And I grabbed a wheelie bin, and opened it. And it was just... But the sorry didn't mean anything anymore. And I knew in that moment that our lives were going to change. And they were never going to be the same. And I'm not religious, but I prayed for those passengers that they would all be okay. Not just survive, but not have lifelong injuries. And I got home and I turned on the TV and Zach's story led the morning news. And to see that footage that you saw earlier in my lounge room, knowing that my only child had caused that carnage, it's indescribable. That those poor elderly people that were just fast asleep. And, for me to see that whole thing that you did, the ripple effect, all those people, how frightened they must have been, with all that commotion. waking up and but I still had my son, and so did 4 other parents. And I know I've met people through this whole journey that, you know, they're like a friend that I have, Melissa, her son Jordan, on the 8th of December, Zach's crash was on the 9th, went to his first work Christmas party. He was an apprentice, 18 and a half, finished school. Good boy, rugby player, drank too much, smoked weed, drove home and smashed into a car that was broken down on the side of the road with 5 people in it. Jordan died alone in his own car. And the learner driver, like they were just waiting for help, managed to climb over the front seat passenger and get out with serious burns. The rest were incinerated. And a 15-month-old baby was left an orphan. 10 years later, Melissa, the vitriol and hatred directed towards her, she wasn't in the car. She's a beautiful person, a lovely person, and she also spends her life going around and talking to teenagers. I've been judged as a terrible mother because my son went off the rails and did what he did and ended up in prison. I don't judge.